What's up, guys? It's the junior analyst. Like Bilal Muhammad, the decision had been unanimous. And today I'm not here to rage bait. I'm actually here to spit some facts, okay? I believe that after this video, you guys would find my opinion to be quite valid. I think that Bo Nickal could beat Khamzat Chimaev in a mixed martial arts fight, an MMA competition, and here's the reason why. Just look at our guy Bo here, man. Taking a knee for the first responders of America. Just such a patriot. I have so much respect for him. But moving on. So, we can start off by talking about Khamzat. Arguably the fastest, most explosive shot we have ever seen in UFC. Like the shot he had against Li Jingliang, the shot he got against Kevin Holland, Robert Whitaker. Just so powerful, so fast, so explosive. And while it's kind of a no-brainer, he is a better all-around grappler in mixed martial arts compared to Bo Nickal. I don't think anybody will argue against that. However, this is where the problem comes in. The more skilled fighter, the fighters with more accolades, they don't always win fights. Styles make fights, and attributes also make fights as well. In all of Chimaev's fights in the UFC, besides the fight he had against the legendary GM3, he shot a takedown within the first minutes or even seconds in every single one of them. Bo Nickal, he might still be green to MMA, but its takedown defense and ability to scramble is no joke. It definitely had translated from his wrestling career. I just completely forget about the fight he had against Rainer de Ridder. I mean, he didn't really lose in the grappling department either, But I think purely just based on Chimaev's fighting style and instincts from what we have seen, he will approach the Bo Nickal fight the same way he has approached every single one of his UFC fights. So first of all, the hypothesis of Bo Nickal beating Khamzat Chimaev is under the condition that Bo Nickal and Khamzat Chimaev were to fight at 185 pounds, and Chimaev does not dramatically change his approach to fighting from his previous bouts. Because I do think Chimaev could just outstrike him. I've heard through the grapevines that Chimaev does not like arm bars, which is mainly the reason why he gave up on trying to take Gilbert Burns down. However, Bo Nickal doesn't have the jiu-jitsu game or accolades of Gilbert Burns. He's not a 6-time ADCC world champion. In fact, not even close. Which I believe Khamzat will not be deterred to shoot and prove that, and he will try to prove that he is the better wrestler. And here's where Bo Nickal's chances comes in. In his wrestling career, he had done a tremendous job against left-handed wrestlers. And Khamzat loves to shoot from the southpaw stance, where Bo actually has a fair chance of defending even the initial shot, where nobody seems to be able to defend it, which could potentially shut down the grappling from Chimaev in the first round, where he is the absolute most dangerous. And after the initial sprint, we have seen times and times again, like his fight against Kamaru Usman, his fight against Gilbert Burns, especially most recently his fight against Sean Strickland, Khamzat will usually run out of gas and slow down substantially where he can't keep up the same wrestling pace and he would have to stay on the feet. Well, I believe the fact that he was able to do that to DDP and keep up his cardio for all 5 rounds against DDP is because DDP allowed Chimaev to get in such a dominant position way too easily. And in the crucifix, Chimaev didn't have to expend too much energy to keep DDP there. All he had to worry about is to get off one shot each round, and DDP just flops to the ground. And he can hold the position for the rest of the round on top without wasting energy. However, against Strickland, it wasn't the case. Strickland had great scrambles and was making Chimaev work every second of the very first round, which eventually led to Chimaev gassing and not being able to wrestle effectively afterwards. Now, after hearing this, you might say, well, Chimaev is also the better striker, which that I also don't necessarily disagree. He has a great left high kick, left body kick. He has a very nasty jab, very fast, very accurate. He actually busted up Strickland's nose with it. And he has good offensive boxing and a lot of good striking skills, even though his defense is not the greatest. He doesn't really move his head out of the center line. He often just walks forward and takes punishment. But Bo Nickal is one of the only fighters that I believe could potentially offensively wrestle Chimaev and make him work, especially once he's out of gas comes the second and third rounds, from what we have seen. And I think Chimaev's body just has a hard time cutting weight in general due to the series of health issues he's had in the past, and it will affect him greatly cutting to 185 pounds. Therefore, if this fight were to happen at 185, under the conditions I've described where Chimaev fights the same way as he normally do for the most part, I truly believe that Bo Nickal has a good chance of pulling it off. Thank you guys for watching these videos. Please like and subscribe for more MMA related content, and I appreciate your guys' time. Peace.